Brimstone is shaping up to be the dominant controller on the ever-controversial map Fracture, wielding the most powerful tools to dominate with as both attackers and defenders. Welcome back to another esports-driven lineup guide video, and today we're going to be showing you the best of the best Molly lineups for Brimstone, starting with reliable post-plant setups, and then showing you how you can deny said spike plants as a defender. You're here for the good stuff, so let's get right into it. Starting with A site, we have 3 different lineups for 3 different positions. The most common plant is behind the middle site pillar. Run back to A main, line up to this thin beveled line, and look up to the broken glass in the ceiling. Place your left UI line onto the side of this third rectangle, then a few pixels to the right. Don't worry, this lineup is fairly lenient. The extra steps are just to ensure you don't miss. Only note being you can't play off of it from A main, so let's fix that. Instead, plant in the back corner like so. Come back to A main, line up to this wall segment, and place your crosshair like this. We're flushing our crosshair with this dark line just below it. The molly lands as expected, but we can get a little more creative than this. So if you know you have time, plant in the front corner of site and run back to T-spawn. Come to the edge of the platform and place your left UI line onto the bottom of this gray metal piece. The molly bounces off the ceiling in A main and neatly lands on the corner of site. With this positioning, you can now take the rope and wrap all the way through dish to continue defending the spike. None of the enemies will be looking at you as long as you walk up starting at my ping, and you'll score yourself another easy kill if the molly didn't already. There's a multitude of ways you can play off the spike on B site, and we've got 3 more fantastic setups for you. Starting with the simplest, we plant for B main using the dice box. Come here to this wedge made by the metal structure and look up to these dark leaves. Place your left UI line on the top right segment like so. This molly does an insta bounce off the radianite box. Next, plant on corner site like this. Aim the spike towards canteen for a better post plant. Run back up to tower, flush with these 2 walls, and aim at the piping shown here. Place your crosshair at the top left corner of the darkest section. It bounces off the metal and lands right on the spike. Finally, a lineup for the backside plant, which is pretty standard for most executes. Come to the double boxes in arcade. Line up to the center, crouch, look up, and place the line between your stim and molly icons on the top right corner of this white metal object. It lands after a quick bounce, and you'd continue defending the spike from tower or by wrapping site. And that's it for the attacker lineups. Let's show some more as defenders to aid you in your retakes and net you some easy kills along the way. If you know the attackers have A site, come up to the sand tower, wedge yourself next to the kingdom box, and aim at the top left corner of the sand wall. This lineup completely denies any safe plant behind the default pillar, and will also just force anyone out of position. And for B site, you're going to walk up from CT until you can see a sliver of sight like this. Run and shoot while aiming relatively high. It doesn't have to be pixel perfect for full functionality. It lands behind the main plant position, and just like on A, will flush any enemy out of backside. And there you have it. You now have 8 powerful lineups under your belt that'll take your Brimstone experience to a whole nother level. And if you want to continue your mastery of the agent, on screen now is a link to our entire Brimstone lineups playlist for every map. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next guide.